Hello again, folks, and welcome back to the channel. This week, we're going to do something a little different that we haven't done yet, but I've been wanting to do, and that is a book review. Just like with classic handguns, ooh, little teaser right there. Um, there's older publications that I'd like to discuss, and our first one is going to be The Combat Auto by Bill Wilson. This is actually Bill Wilson's second book. I have not gotten a copy of The Combat 45 yet. And if you don't know who Bill Wilson is, you may wish to crawl out from under your rock. Bill Wilson is the founder of Wilson's Gun Shop, later Wilson Combat, which we all know and love. And this book is, I think, the best way I can describe the Combat Auto is a how to guide to get a really tricked out, just slick gun with all the style of early 1990s competition. So, just cool as hell right there. So, what Bill does, get to the contents here, just step by step through the book. He gives you a little bit of history. This is very competition oriented. It says the Combat Auto. We're talking about combat competition, specifically IPSC. This is before IDPA, when people wanted something more than the PPC shooting, which is police something competition. I honestly forget. For those of you who are older that or just know what that is, I'm sorry. I might act like it. I might have, more classic tastes, but at the end of the day, I'm still a millennial. So you get a brief history of the customization of 1911s, as well as the early days of IPSC competition, talking about Jeff Cooper and fellows like that. You get a outline of what a custom handgun is for such competitions. And Bill Wilson does, he articulates the difference between combat in competition and real world self-defense. But this is before he realized, and the nation realized, the popularity of conceal carry self-defense handguns. And when these competitions, such as IPSC, were, if you were cool, that is what you were doing. You were shooting IPSC. We cover the basic combat modifications. Again, they're combat. He uses that more than I use So your basic modifications. What can you do to take that stock Colt or Springfield or what have you and make it great? He discusses a full house, light customizations versus a full house custom build. And there's also a lot of discussion on 38 Super. We don't see 38 Super too much anymore, but in the mid 80s, it dominated the competitions. I believe it was not Rob Latham. I forget who won the first Nationals or World Cup with the 38 Super. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still fuzzy. I should have taken notes. Your race guns, but then it covers what a race gun is. Those handguns that really make you wonder how it fits in a holster. But what I really like is we going right down the list. Grips, match barrels and comps, finishes, accessories, holsters, magazines, ammo and reloading. There's even a chapter on custom pistol smiths, which that's going to be a little dated. A number of those guys are either retired or have passed on. But in addition to the broad strokes, Bill Wilson gives you a individual, like an itemized list of the parts you want to look for. And again, just like with the pistol smiths, a lot of these companies aren't in business anymore. For example, King's Gunworks is defunct, but many of them, such as Packmeyer, still exist. Now, these Packmeyer, as we know it today, is a brand name owned by Lyman that does grips. They are not the super awesome custom gun shop that they used to be. That's okay. It's like DeSantis holsters. You used to be pretty cool if you had a DeSantis, and now you just pick them up for whatever at Bass Pro. But anyways, so a lot of the brands you might not be able to find. A lot of them are still in business making these exact same parts, though. So if you're interested in the late 80s, early 90s custom competition / carry gun, the Combat Auto by Bill Wilson, I would highly recommend it. I picked my copy up on Amazon. You can find them there. It's always worth it to check your local bookstores. And I'm not talking half-price books or a big company like that. Find your local bookstore and see if you can find a copy. A, it'll be cheaper. B, it's always good to help the small local businesses. So that's just a super duper brief overview of this book. I'm not even going to say broad strokes. It's just one big broad stroke. Highly recommend it if you're interested in this sort of thing. If stock is more your gig, we're going to talk about other publications that'll cover, more stock handgun options. There's a few more books that I'm currently reading that we're going to do more like this. I will be more detailed in the future, I promise. And that's that. Now, a little teaser, just because I know that everyone's going to lose their mind. This is not an SA35 update. I just got some new Packmeyer signature wraparound grips and threw them onto the SA35. These have been on here for like an hour, but super duper grippy. I'm really liking these. I am going to take this shooting this weekend with these grips and kind of see how it goes. And we'll get a more thorough review of these in the future, but just a little teaser right there. So there's that little extra SA35-ness for you. I hope you folks have a great week. We will catch you again next Wednesday.